Math 3, Unit 9, Statistical Reasoning. As you start this unit, here's a quote about mathematics that you can reflect on. Knowing mathematics is like wearing a pair of X-ray specs that reveal hidden structures underneath the messy and chaotic surface of the world. Jordan Ellenberg. The big ideas for this unit revolve around statistical studies and drawing conclusions. You will study how to properly design an experiment to test for statistical significance. You will learn the difference between a survey, experiment, and observational study, and what that means about your conclusions. You will also learn about bias and margin of error, and what it means for your results. The first two lessons of this unit, you will investigate what it takes to make a good experiment. By conducting a simple experiment in class with pennies, you will develop the steps and requirements needed for an experiment to render valid data. By studying the Salk experiment of the 1950s, you will identify the need for blind studies and placebos. You will also explore lurking variables and their effect on outcomes. In the next lesson, you will focus on the results of an experiment. You will investigate using simulations to randomize data from an experiment to see if the treatment in question made a statistical difference. You will use software to create the simulations and use percentiles to help you compare the results. The next two lessons investigate the differences between experiments, observational studies, and surveys, and the role that randomness plays and what you can conclude from these outcomes. You will investigate different methods for collecting random samples and why random samples are important. The next lesson investigates different types of bias in statistics. You start by exploring bias in sampling and how this can change the outcome of a survey. Then you will investigate bias in the wording of a survey and how you ask the questions. You will uncover how this affects the outcome of the survey as well. Then you will compare bias in presenting the outcomes of a survey or study in graphs or reports. You will identify how someone can change the looks of data to skew someone's interpretation of that data. The unit wraps up by exploring the accuracy of data. You will investigate how close predicted outcomes based on data are to reality and develop a way to measure it. This is called margin of error. You will compare data from different sized sample sets and find a connection between sample size and margin of error. Here are a list of key vocabulary terms for this unit. Some of these vocabulary terms should already be familiar to you from previous courses. Here are some key skills needed to be successful with the content of this unit. You should be able to apply and calculate summary statistics, create histograms, box plots, and frequency tables, and calculate percentages. In addition to your teacher and school-based resources, there are several additional resources available. The Ready, Set, Go homework help videos are housed in the Canvas site for your class. You can access these in Canvas using your student login. If you do not know how to log into Canvas, ask your teacher for help. The K-12 Math Resources website, which can be found on your school's website, includes additional support items such as unit and lesson overviews, videos overviewing the task, essential vocabulary, the North Carolina standards for each unit, learning targets for each lesson, and extra practice problems.